But in your research, everyone has a favorite Beatle, right?
Well, especially girls. And there's a reason for that, because the appeal for girls, and I should say girls who were, beyond, puberty and beyond. In other words, they were young women. They imagined themselves meeting a Beatle, dating a Beatle, marrying a Beatle, etc. with a Beatle. So they always picked a favorite. Boys, again, in the teenage years, they were less apt to pick a favorite because the appeal for boys was the camaraderie, the brotherly love between them. The four of them together was very appealing for boys. I had men that I interviewed said, each of them had the three best friends anybody could imagine, that, they would walk through the world with their buddies, and that was very, very appealing to, think about watching A Hard Day's Night. If you were a 13, 14-year-old boy, like you wanted to be a Beatle, and you wanted to have like that group of friends around you, whereas the girls were identifying a particular one that they wanted to be with. Now, of course, there are exceptions. Guys did have, in some cases, have favorite Beatles, but in general, it was really more a girl thing to pick that favorite Beatle, and because then you could share a magazine. If you bought a magazine, you could, cut it up, and you could chip in for the magazine, and each of you could take the picture of the one you wanted. But for the little kids, and this is what people often forget, is that first-generation Beatle fans, at least in the early days in '64, were in single digits. I mean, I was 7, you were 8, around the same age. I know Chachi was around that age. You didn't think of them in, they were just these fun guys, and so as little kids, we did pick favorites, but once you got into the teenage years, it was this gender difference. That was one of the many gender differences in how fans perceive the Beatles. But to this day, who's your favorite Beatle? Who's your favorite Beatle? It's almost like a conversation starter. It's like, what's your sign? Like, who's your favorite Beatle?